Hi everybody, this is MAW00001 with another video, and there's actually going to be two parts to this video. This one is going to be reviewing the 12 comics that come out for DC this week and a couple of extras, and the other one is going to be for quite a big haul that I got from eBay this weekend. And yeah, it's pretty big. So I thought I'd start off with showing you a small figurine collection that I've got. Everybody knows what Kinder eggs are, yeah. Well, these were similar to Kinder eggs. They were called Spidey and Friends, and I have never eaten so much chocolate in my life to get 10 figurines. It's as good as I like chocolate. From the back, you've got SpiderMan, Iron Man, The Thing, Thor, Wolverine, Cyclops, and Captain America. And in the front, you have the Silver Surfer. When I first got it, I thought it was supposed to be Iceman, until I looked up on the internet and I found out it wasn't. It was supposed to be the Silver Surfer, the Incredible Hulk, and I believe the character's called Spider Girl next to the Hulk. And yeah, took me forever to find Spider-Man out of it. That's where I think I met most of the chocolate for. But yeah, nice little figurine collection there for the shelf. So I thought I'd just share it with you. If I just move them out of the way without damaging them, and we'll begin with the review for DC's 12 issues of their new 52 this week. And I wasn't impressed at all this week. There's not that many comics this week that I was happy to be getting through the post, let's put it that way. And we'll start off with the worst, and it's Red Hood and the Outlaws. Artwork in it's not very nice, the writing is terrible in it, and there seems to be a controversy this week, that's bad, about DC oversexing their female characters. I've heard it about Red Hood and the Outlaws with Starfire, about Birds of Prey, about Catwoman. There is no controversy. Yeah, it's just hype from what I've seen. I've read the comics. Yes, there's a scene at the back of Catwoman that some people might find a little bit titillating, but at the end of the day, it's a comic. You see? Yeah? If people are getting overexcited about a comic book, maybe they need to get out more. You know, if people are seeing controversy in comic books, maybe they should look in the real world and see what actually is controversial. You know. But anyway, I digress. Red Hood and the Outlaws, no. Complete bottom out. And next, and only just a little bit better than Red Hood and the Outlaws, Birds of Prey. Interior artwork is absolutely gorgeous. Can't fault the interior artwork, but there's just no story. I know DC's trying to get new readers in and make it easier for people to jump on board, but there's just no story to this book. It's all glitter and no substance. Yeah. So next up we have Dr. Manhattan, #1. Oh, sorry, Captain Atom, #1. if you've read this comic, you may understand why I was said it as Dr. Manhattan, because basically they have changed Captain Atom to Dr. Manhattan. Just put my teeth back in. Artwork inside was okay, nothing really amazing. The story was alright, but it didn't grip me. There was nothing in there that made me go, wow, I want to read issue 2. So, and again, another one, Legion of Superheroes #1. Can't say anything about it. I think the artist on this was the same artist they had for the Adventure Comics Legion of Superheroes stories, I believe. And artwork inside, really nice. Story inside, nothing. No story in there at all, really. They might as well have just kept it at the original numbering of Legion of Superheroes. Next up we have Blue Beetle, which seems to be one of the comics that is actually affected by the reboot. It looks like it's a complete retelling of the new Blue Beetle story. Has anybody read the new Stan Lee comics that have been done? I can't remember who's producing them now, but it's a story called Soldier Zero. This is very similar to the first issue of Soldier Zero. Very similar to Soldier Zero number 1. Again, artwork's alright, but just no story. And another one, Supergirl #1. Very nice artwork. Interesting redesign on the Supergirl uniform costume. Interior artwork's nice, lovely cover, but no story really. Next we have Green Lantern Corps #1. It's another pointless #1. They may have just kept... I know the whole thing of the whole reboot was all brand new #1s, but they may as well have just kept the numbering for Green Lantern Corps, because there's nothing changed in it really, apart from the fact that this is more to do with Guy Gardner and John Stewart than it was to do with Kyle Rayner. And I think that's because Kyle Rayner is going to be in the Green Lantern New Guardians. He's going to be one of the main characters now. Now, I enjoyed the last series of Green Lantern Corps. I thought it paralleled Green Lantern quite well. But again, there doesn't seem to be much storytelling in this book. Even the artwork's not that good. It's alright, don't get me wrong. It's not Rob Liefeld bad, but it's not very good, not a very interesting story. Next up we have Nightwing #1. If it stays there. Yep. Really nice artwork inside. The action sequences and the way they portray Dick Grayson, Nightwing, as he is now again, the way they portray his acrobatic skills is really good. But I can't help thinking that I've seen it somewhere before. And then I read Daredevil, written by Mark Waid, and I thought, that's where I've seen it before. It's basically, Nightwing is basically Daredevil, but with a character that can see, with no superpowers. It's a nice enough story, the artwork's gorgeous, and just nothing that would make me, nothing that really grabs hold of me and goes, buy #2. So, yeah. Next up we have Wonder Woman #1. An interesting take on the Amazon Princess. Not quite sure if this carries on in the same vein as the last lot of Wonder Woman comics that come out, which was written by J.M. Straczynski. Is it my imagination, or does the title of this comic, does it look like it was coloured in with Tipex? Well, maybe that's me. I don't know. But anyway, back to the actual comic. Nice artwork, and the story, it was okay. You know, it was all right for a first issue story. But again, didn't really make me want to jump out of my seat and run to my local comic book shop, which is pretty good because that's about 60 miles away. Yeah, didn't really make me want to jump up and get them to order me number 2, pick up the phone and order me number 2. Here's the next one, Catwoman number 1. This is the one which has got all the controversy with it for the final scene at the end of the comic, which I think they probably tacked onto it just so they could sell a Catwoman comic. You know what they say, nothing sells something better than controversy. And again, there's no controversy in here. You've probably seen worse in other comics like Uncanny X-Men or Hellblazer. You know, it's an okay story, nice enough jumping on point, but get it if you want to read a Catwoman story. Don't get it because of the hype. That's all I can say. Next up, we've got DC Universe presents Deadman number 1. An interesting take on Deadman, but nothing to write home about. The artwork in it's nice, and you can probably tell that I'm not really that impressed with the comics that have been coming out this week from DC, and I'm looking forward to next week's set of DC comics because it looks like there could be some interesting ones then. Hopefully DC will redeem themselves. But DC Universe presents Deadman, it's okay. If you've got a couple of quid spare that you want to waste, pick this up. It's an interesting read. The artwork in it's quite nice. But the best comic that I've read this week, by miles, and if you know what comics have been coming out this week, you probably know which one I'm talking about now, is Batman number 1. Absolutely brilliant. If you haven't got this, get it. If your local comic book shop hasn't got it, get them to get you a copy of it, even if it's a second print. Fantastic story, great artwork in it, can't fault it. It's just a brilliant story. Good jumping on point. You know, you actually get 3 Robins in it. Yeah. And there's a pretty interesting twist at the beginning of it, where you see Batman fighting all his old villains, like Killer Croc, Clayface, Riddler, and so on and so forth. And then he teams up with the Joker. Aha! That got you interested, didn't it? Right. But yeah, all the other ones, if you've got nothing else to read this week, which, considering Marvel seem to be putting out some fairly decent comics, then fine, by all means get any of the other DC comics that have come out this week. If there's one DC comic you get this week, it has to be Batman number 1. Okay? And just to wrap up this video, another 2 little pocket books. I don't know if anybody's seen them out there. The Marvel pocket books. I've picked up 2 of them from one of my local bookshops in town. First one is The Incredible Hulk, World's End, which reprints Incredible Hulk number 109 to 119. There you go. These pocketbooks are a pretty good way if you haven't got the big amount of money that you need to buy the actual issues. These pocketbooks are a pretty good way to just have those issues in one place, and to read them and enjoy them. As much as it would be brilliant to be able to get the Incredible Hulk number 109, the price tag some people are asking for it is a little bit, you know, over the top sometimes. But these are a good way to actually get the comics or read the stories that are in the comics without having to take out a second mortgage on your home. And the next one is called Venom, Birth of a Monster, which reprints Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man number 107 to 110, right? And the exceptionally expensive Amazing Spider-Man number 298, 299 and 300. Now we all know why those 3 issues are expensive. 298, 299, first issues of Spider-Man that Todd McFarlane drew, and issue 300 is the very first issue where you see the black costume as Venom. It merges with Eddie Brock in issue 300, and that's why issue 300 of Amazing Spider-Man is so expensive. Even on places like eBay, you'll be lucky to get it for less than £100 usually on eBay. But again, these Marvel pocket books, they're a great way to get the comic and read the story without, you know, giving your bank manager a heart attack. And yeah, that's all for the moment. Like I said, I will be doing another video, and that will have better comics on it than the ones that DC have brought out this week. So, as always, do yourself a favour, don't take my word for it. If you want to read any of the comics that I've reviewed today on this video, by all means, buy them and make up your own mind. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, press the like button. If you want to subscribe or know any more, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I will see you all later. Take care. Ta-da for now.